Good morning and welcome to today's session of KB Spark Plug. This is Kakali doing the session, and today I'll talk about public speaking because I know this is very important for many of us who want to make public speeches and who need to make public speeches. But just being on the stage frightens us a lot, and we are scared to face the audience, which makes it more difficult. And therefore, I just hope that today's video becomes very useful for you and you understand the dynamics that are associated with public speaking. And I'm sure once understanding the various dynamics of speaking will help you do public speeches easily. And with this hope, I strive today towards the topic itself. Now, what do we understand by public speaking? I would like to give you certain examples before I go on to talk about the various aspects that should be kept in mind while making public speeches. Uh, I would ask you to remember, or I would like to remind you, those gatherings, the huge gatherings, the huge mass of people, the huge audience that gathers when politicians make their speeches. I mean, that's a wonderful example of public speaking. So the number of people in the audience can be any number. I mean, it can be as varied as 5 people, 10 people, or even 50,000 people. So it can be that large. And public speech is something that is present in our life from our very childhood, because when we are in school, we are getting education, or maybe we are in college, we are exposed to the occasions when we make public speeches in the form of debate, in the form of group discussion. So, public speech is already introduced to us at a very lower level, in the sense at an early stage in life. And it continues to be present in our life even when we go in the profession, when we have to make speeches in public, for particularly in case of colleagues and peers and superiors. So there also, we have to make public speeches. And sometimes public speech is also made in the form of presentations, when we have to convince our superiors and we make presentations, there also a kind of public speech has to be made. So these are the examples, of very few examples I have given, but they are very vital, and therefore there is no way we can escape from not giving public speech. Or escape from giving public speech. We cannot do that. We have to face, and we have to have a control on it and a mastery on it. So, therefore, let us delve into the various aspects that are associated. But before that, let me tell you that the purpose, therefore, to make public speech is threefold. Number one is to inform. When we want to inform a huge mass of people, we employ public speech. Another reason why we go for public speaking is to convince an audience, to convince a huge mass of people. And finally, to share. It can be knowledge, it can be skill sharing, but whenever there is, sharing through verbal skill, sharing orally, then we employ public speech. So these are the occasions when we use public speech for our necessity. Now, public speech has two aspects. One is the verbal aspect and other is the physical aspect. Now, when I say verbal aspect, because it is speaking and because it is giving out speech that is involved in the process of public speech, there are three things we need to keep in mind. Number one is your language, the language that you employ to share and convey your message. And you have to, if necessary, find out which language the audience is comfortable in. You know, it can sometimes be in English, it can be in Hindi, it can be in Bengali, Oriya, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, it can be any language. But one thing that should be kept in mind for the speaker is that it should be a common language in which both the speaker and the audience is comfortable. That is very vital. You know, the language should be known to both the parties. And otherwise, whatever the speaker says will be lost and the audience will fail to understand. So, employing the right kind of language becomes very important. Secondly, is what we have to keep in mind while making a public speech is the pitch and tone of the voice that we use, because it is more about speaking and listening. The audience listens what you say and understands and grasps the matter. So therefore, if you employ a flat tone, if you use a flat tone and a flat pitch or a very shrill pitch throughout, the audience will definitely find it monotonous and boring. So therefore, the best way to handle the pitch and the tone is it should be in a curve, you know, up and down. At certain times, it can go up your pitch, but there has to be other times when it should, you know, come down. So you have to modulate your pitch and tone so that it has maximum impact on the audience who is hearing or listening to what you are saying. And finally, for the verbal skills, the factor which becomes important is your pronunciation. You know, sometimes we don't take care of our pronunciation. And if the pronunciation is not correct, and it is not understandable for the audience, then again your message will not be conveyed to the audience. So you have to be very careful about your pronunciation. If necessary, you listen to other videos and other speeches that are available. Nowadays, it's not a problem. There are so many videos and speeches on the internet. Listen to different people speaking and listen to the pronunciation they are making. Rectify your pronunciation if necessary and improve upon it, work on it. And therefore, keep in mind that you have to be correct with your pronunciation to have greatest impact on the audience's mind. These three, therefore, the language, the pitch and tone, and the pronunciation is the verbal aspect of your public speech. The other aspect, the second aspect, which is also very vital, is body language. You know, when you are physically present at a particular place and you are making a speech, maintaining a formal body language, which means you don't, lazily slump forward, or you are laid back, or, certain gestures and postures you should avoid, because you are making a public speech, which means you are, you are a person who is going to guide the audience. It may be to convince them, it may be to inform, or it may be to share, as I have said earlier. But whatever the purpose is, you are considered by the audience as an expert in the field. Right. So you are put on a higher pedestal by the audience. Someone who knows the subject well, someone who is very much aware and is an expert in the field. So being an expert, you really cannot, afford to have a very informal body gestures and postures. You need to be very careful about the postures that you make, and the gestures you carry. So be very careful about that. And another very important factor in the body language is your eye contact. Try and maintain direct eye contact with your audience. This is very vital, because if you don't look at your audience and speak, if you just put your head down and look at the ground, or you look up at the ceiling, or here and there, that kind of disconnects your audience from you. So you need to maintain the eye contact with your audience in order to hold on to their attention. The more you look at them straight and speak, that is going to fetch you their attention, and therefore your speech will have a greater impact on their mind. So maintaining eye contact becomes very essential. I would also like to, state certain important factors regarding public speech that you need to take care of. Firstly, you should have a grasp on the topic that you are dealing. Because as I said, your audience considers you as an expert in the field. Therefore, they expect that you have all knowledge on the topic, and you have every solution to the problems in the topic. Therefore, you yourself should have a good grasp on the topic. So do all the research and all the gathering of knowledge prior to your public speech, which is absolutely necessary. So you should have a good grasp on the topic, prepare the topic beforehand, and try to find out as many problems that can arise from the topic, as many questions that can arise from the topic. There is today, it's not a problem to gather information on a particular topic. You have this huge storehouse of information, which is the internet. So do your research work early and prepare yourself and have a good grasp, a good hold on the topic. Secondly, it is very important that when you are making your speech, try to make it interactive. For example, while you are making a speech, intermittently ask questions to the audience related to what you are speaking, and that will encourage the audience to reply back. The more interactive your session is, the more you will be able to ensure that you have the attention of the audience. Because, you speak on a topic, continuously, constantly, and for a long period of time might, sometimes allow your audience to sit back and think about something else and lose attention in your topic. Okay, so their mind may get diverted. So if you make your topic interactive, where they ask you question, you ask them question in between while speaking on the topic, you will be able to ensure that you have your hold on their mind, you have your hold on their attention. This is very vital. And if necessary, if you feel that your topic is a very long one and your audience is losing interest in it, their mind is getting diverted, you can, as a tool, intermittently, you can use humor. Maybe share a joke or two. That way it will be like a break, and they will listen to your jokes, to the humors that you share, and they will be able to connect with you in a better way. So therefore, you can use humors, anecdotes, and you can use more examples. The more you explain your speech through the examples that you make, that will help you to hold the attention of the audience, and also giving more examples would help them to understand your topic in a better way. So that is like, it will enrich your speech. So the more statistics you give, the more examples, the more events you take from history or from current affairs, and you explain it to them, they will find these more interesting. Uh, However, I am not demanding, I'm not claiming that even after doing this, even after preparing your topic beforehand and trying to employ the various tools I have just talked about now, even then you might find it difficult to complete your speech. You may falter, you may become nervous, but in case that happens, if you falter and you feel nervous, you feel the stage fright, you feel that the so many pair of eyes looking at you, and that kind of scares you. So if that happens in spite of all your preparation and all your tools, then I would suggest take a deep breath, close your eyes, and think the subject, the topic that you are to make speech on. Organize it in your own way, standing on the stage itself. Organize it in your mind, and you speak on it. So take your time, make yourself settled on the stage, make yourself comfortable. If that means taking 2 minutes, that means taking 5 minutes, 10 minutes, do it. But organize yourselves within your mind and then start speaking again. You also can, this is an extreme case, when you are absolutely failing, you are not being able to fight with your fright, you are not being able to control your fear. So at that point of time, you can carry points written in a piece of paper, but I would request you to avoid it if possible. If not, if you find that you are finding it really, really hard to make the speech, then refer to the points that are written in the paper, but please do not read out from the paper, because that is going to crush and destroy the impact you can make as a public speaker on the mind of your audience. The moment you read out from your paper, that kind of distorts the image that you have built up till then, that you are an expert in the field. That image will be destroyed totally in the minds of the audience, and therefore the audience will not trust you with your information and with your sharings. So therefore it's important that you don't read out from the paper, but yes, you can occasionally see the paper, refer to the points, but the explanation has to be done by not seeing the paper. So this is very vital. And definitely nothing can replace the fact that preparation beforehand, whenever you have to make your public speech, beforehand you prepare your speech, do the research, practice 10 times, 15 times, 100 times if necessary, and make the preparation complete. So this is how you can actually work for your public speech, for your public speaking skills. And if you keep these in mind and move forward, I'm sure that you will be able to develop your skill. And I just hope that the various aspects that I have tried to point out here is clear, and this helps you in your endeavor. So that is all about today, and I hope that you are seeing my videos, and I request you to subscribe to my channel, like my video, comment on them, and share them if possible. And definitely do see the full video, because this is absolutely important for me. That is going to support my journey so that I'll be able to make more videos like this. And so hope to see you very soon again. Thank you. Bye bye.